Hello, we're going to John now, which we haven't done much lately. I'm going to do half of this story today, and we'll do the rest next week. We're starting in John chapter 7. After this, Jesus went around in Galilee, purposefully staying away from Judea because the Jews there were waiting to take his life. But when the Jewish feast of tabernacles was near, Jesus' brothers said to him, "You ought to leave here and go to Judea, so that your disciples may see the miracles you do. No one who wants to become a public figure acts in secret. Since you are doing these things, show yourself to the world." For even his own brothers did not believe in him. Therefore Jesus told them, "The right time for me has not yet come. For you, any time is right. The world cannot hate you, but it hates me because I testify that what it does is evil. You go to the feast. I am not yet going up to this feast, because for me the right time has not yet come." Having said this, he stayed in Galilee. However, after his brothers had left for the feast, he went also, not publicly, but in secret. Now at the feast the Jews were watching for him and asking, "Where is that man?" Among the crowds there was widespread whispering about him. Some said, "He is a good man." Others replied, "No, he deceives the people." But no one would say anything publicly about him for fear of the Jews. It's important for us to remember that Jesus was wise. It makes me happy because he's the God of good timing. Let's walk through this. His brothers were teasing him. They didn't yet believe that he was the Messiah. They basically said, "If you're going to do something stupid, then you might as well commit." They didn't know that he wasn't doing something stupid and that he was more committed than they thought. He knew that the best way to do what he needed to do was to take the opportunities at the right time and not seize them immediately. People go to the feast in groups, so if Jesus went up with his brothers, he would have gotten a lot of attention. He wasn't even with his disciples. He probably wanted his disciples to enjoy the feast without attention. So he participated in the feast in secret. And he was right to do so. People were looking for him. And it says everyone had different intentions. The unfortunate truth is that someone who is looking for Jesus for the best reasons in the world can have someone who is looking to destroy behind them. Jesus will always have opposition till the end of the current earth. That's why the people would not say anything publicly about him, because they feared what others might do to them. It's the same today, and the strangest thing to think about is, should we just sometimes read the room? When Jesus met a person, he didn't say 8 seconds into the conversation, "So I'm the Messiah, just thought I'd let you know." He knew the right timing for mending people's hearts. And I feel like we need to remember that. We can often force the Bible onto people, which can be annoying to say the least, but in a more worst-case scenario, we can start to build hate for people. Why won't you just believe, stop sinning, and start doing what's right now? Then when they don't change at our whims, we consider them scum. That's not good. Jesus mentioned to his brothers that people already have in their minds what is good and what is bad, and that he was telling the truth, which was a bit more radical than what even the most devout Jew considered. That's very true today. There are ideals today that the world thinks should be right without question, but really it's not actually right. And like Jesus, we need to spell out what is good and what is bad, but we tend to do it at the wrong times. Jesus knew the best timing. God's timing is not our timing, and I think it's fine to admit that God's timing often doesn't make the most sense, but you are not in control of the world, so you cannot decide when the best timing is. But you can pray and ask for guidance from God. He'll help you read the room, and you'll be able to spread the gospel in the best way possible. Thanks, everyone.